Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some have entertained angels without knowing it. There are moments in your life that feel like dreams, like flashes of something more than coincidence. That night you paused before taking a step, and something inside said, "Not yet." The voice you heard but couldn't place. The presence you felt in the room when no one else was home. These weren't accidents. These weren't nerves. These were messages. Divine, quiet, insistent. And they've been trying to get through to you. If this message resonates, drop your story in the comments. Or share it with someone who's been feeling watched over. Welcome. Today we're not just going to talk about signs or affirmations. This isn't feel-good fluff or vague spiritual talk. This is about something urgent, something precise, something divine that's unfolding whether you're aware of it or not. Two angels have been dispatched for you. Yes, you. Not as a metaphor, not as a poetic image. Real, divine, intelligent forces, assigned, waiting, watching, and now reaching. You have about 13 minutes to align your spirit, to receive what is being sent, and to realize what this all means. Let me explain, not with fear, but with clarity. The reason you feel out of place lately isn't because you're lost. It's because you're being located. The discomfort, it's the divine GPS recalculating. The silence, it's not empty. It's echoing. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. And these two angels, they've been around you longer than you realize. You've seen them in people who showed up just when you were about to fall apart. You've heard them in music you didn't know you needed to hear at the exact second you were about to give up. You felt them when you should have drowned in sadness, but somehow stayed afloat. These moments weren't luck. They were intervention. You keep brushing it off, don't you? Telling yourself it's just your imagination, that you're being dramatic, that no one's watching over you like that. But what if that disbelief is the final barrier between you and the message that could shift everything? Now listen closely, because this is what they never tell you. Divine help doesn't always come with wings and thunder. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it waits, sometimes it stands behind you in absolute stillness until you finally turn around and say, "I know you're there." This moment, this very moment, is not casual. Something is being activated. And the reason you are drawn to this message is because your spiritual frequency is high enough now to feel the tremor in the unseen. The veil is thin. The timing is divine. And the angels are closer than ever before. You see, chosen ones don't live ordinary lives. You've always known this. You don't just stumble through life. You walk with a strange kind of resistance. You lose friends who were never supposed to stay. You get rejected from places you would have settled for. And it hurts. But all of it, training, calibration, protection. Because when God assigns angels to you, it's not for comfort. It's for calling. And calling requires pruning. It requires discomfort. But most of all, it requires awareness. That's what this is about. This isn't just about knowing you have angels. It's about responding to them, about listening, about aligning your life so they can finally hand you what they've been sent to deliver. You can't keep living like nothing's going on in the spirit. You can't keep silencing your own intuition. You've been asking for signs. Well, this is one. You've been praying for clarity. Well, here it is. The next shift in your life depends not on doing more, but on listening more deeply. Ask yourself, what if the reason things haven't moved yet is because you keep dismissing divine instruction? What if your breakthrough is waiting behind the last act of obedience you ignored because it didn't make sense to your logical mind? Chosen one, your life is not about survival anymore. It's about obedience, trust, sensitivity. You've already been protected through storms others couldn't survive. And now you're being summoned into something sacred. This is not a call to hustle. It's a call to presence. The angels aren't asking you to fix everything. They're asking you to notice, to align, to stop talking yourself out of your own knowing. And you might think, but who am I to be visited? To be chosen. Let me tell you something. You were never chosen because you were ready. You were chosen because you were willing. And now the moment has come. There are 13 minutes left, not in fear, but in timing. 13 minutes for your spirit to come back home, for your senses to tune back in, for you to receive. You weren't crazy for believing you were different. You weren't overthinking when you felt that presence next to you during your worst nights. The world calls it imagination. Heaven calls it assignment. This is the part they don't teach you in church. That obedience often feels like confusion. That peace isn't always calm. It can feel like a storm, clearing everything false so that truth has room to stand. That God's guidance doesn't always come in sentences. Sometimes it comes in silence that stretches you, in delays that humble you, in detours that protect you. So if you've been delayed lately, trust it. If you've been rerouted, honor it. If you've been rejected, bless it. Not everything sent to you was meant to stay. And not everyone who left did so by accident. The angels have been removing what no longer fits your next chapter. And it hurts. Of course it does. But that pain, it's not punishment. It's proof that something sacred is shifting. When the divine gets ready to elevate you, it begins by separating you. And that's what you've been going through. A holy separation. Not to isolate you, but to insulate you. To wrap you in grace so that when the next wave comes, you'll be anchored. When the spotlight hits, you'll be ready. When the weight increases, you'll have the strength that doesn't come from applause, but from presence. You don't need a crowd. You don't need everyone to get it. You don't even need to understand it fully yourself. What you need is alignment. And alignment is quiet. It's lonely. It's often misunderstood. But it's worth it. Because what's coming will require the version of you that knows how to listen when everyone else is talking. So listen, the angels haven't left. They haven't given up. They're not tired of waiting. They're patient. Because they know what's on the other side of your surrender. They know what's waiting once you decide to stop running from your own spirit. Once you let go of who you thought you had to be. Once you finally admit that your way hasn't worked. That's when the real life begins. The one written for you, not the one you tried to force. The one that's been waiting for you to stop striving and start receiving. You've been asking for a sign. You've been crying out without words. And heaven heard you. This is not coincidence. This is contact. This is grace, disguised as interruption. This is the moment before the moment. And you have one job now. Stay open. Something inside you is shifting right now, isn't it? You're not imagining that weight in your chest, that quiet ache, that holy discomfort. It's not anxiety, it's alignment. It's the presence of something greater moving closer. And the closer it gets, the more it exposes everything that can't come with it. Old fears, old patterns, old masks. This is the part where most people turn back. Because shedding what no longer belongs is painful. But you're still here, still reading, still feeling. That makes you different. That makes you chosen. God never selects the loudest. He chooses the ones willing to listen in stillness. You've been growing in silence for so long that even you forgot how strong you've become. But heaven didn't forget, and neither did the angels. They've been watching not just what you do, but how you love, how you give, how you care when no one claps for it. And all of it, every small act of honesty, every time you forgave quietly, every time you resisted reacting, has been recorded. Nothing is missed in the spirit. You may think you're behind because you're not where others are. But God never works on human timelines. He works through preparation, and sometimes preparation looks like delay, like loneliness, like being invisible in a world chasing noise. But what's being built in you isn't temporary, it's not surface deep, it's eternal. That's why it takes time. You were never meant to arrive quickly. Quick success fades, quick applause vanishes. But a soul that has been stretched in silence, That's unshakable. That's who you're becoming. And the angels see it. That's why they're pleading, not with fear, but with urgency. Because time is thin now. There's not much left to waste, not much left to keep pretending you don't hear what you hear or feel what you feel. This isn't about religion. This is about recognition. Recognizing that there is more for you. That the life you've accepted out of fear, comfort, or habit is not the life heaven designed. That the people you've kept close out of familiarity are not your true tribe. That the identity you've been performing to stay safe is too small now. It's time to come out. Not just out of hiding, but out of old agreements. You never agreed to shrink. You never agreed to live numb. That was survival, not truth. And now the truth is knocking. It's inconvenient. It's messy. It's loud in a quiet way. But it's real, and it won't stop until you either answer or numb yourself again. But numbing won't work anymore, will it? That's the part no one warned you about. That once your spirit awakens, the old life tastes bland. The old games feel heavy. The old distractions turn into irritations. You can't unknow what you know now. You've seen too much, felt too deep, loved too hard. And now, you're at the edge. And you know what's crazy? You don't need more proof. You don't need another sign. You already know what needs to go. You already know what wants to rise. You've been waiting for permission, but heaven is waiting for participation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing, to let go, to step forward, to trust that the invisible will catch you when the familiar falls away. You've been prepared for this. Your whole life has been a setup. The pain, part of it, the losses, sacred pruning, the heartbreak, holy redirection. And now it's all converging into this moment, a crossroads that only your soul can see. The road ahead doesn't look clear, but it is yours. And no one can walk it for you. No one can say yes for you, but you don't walk it alone either. The angels are near, closer than your breath. They speak in silence. They wait without pressure. But they won't wait forever, because purpose has a window, and yours is opening now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now everything you've lost has only made room for what fits better. Everything that fell away was never solid to begin with, and every time you thought it was the end, it was really a beginning in disguise. This is the deeper invitation, not just to believe in God, but to believe what God believes about you. That you're worthy, that you're ready, that you're needed. You think your mistakes disqualified you, but heaven sees how you learned from them. You think your detours wasted time, but heaven sees how they humbled and matured you. You think your silence means you've been forgotten, but heaven calls it sacred growth. And soon the noise will return. The world will pull at you again. But for now, in this breath, in this stillness, listen. Don't run. Don't overthink. Just receive. Because something is coming that will require a version of you that's rooted, not shaken by opinions, not easily tempted, not moved by flattery or fear. That version is being born right now, and heaven is watching. If you've made it here, something has already shifted inside you, not because of these words, but because something in your soul has been waiting for confirmation. Not attention, not validation, just quiet confirmation that you're not losing your mind and you're not alone. And you're not. There are others like you, quietly waking up in different corners of the world, feeling the same restlessness, hearing the same unspoken pull, leaving behind the same empty systems and shallow pursuits, choosing stillness over spectacle, truth over popularity, presence over performance. You may not see them, but they're there. They feel you too. And the moment you take your place, you'll start noticing them, one by one, like stars emerging after a long, heavy dusk. You were never meant to awaken just for yourself. You were meant to be a signal, a mirror, a reminder to others of what they've forgotten. But you can't do that if you stay half awake. You can't do that if you keep apologizing for your depth. There's a reason why people never fully understood you, why you felt too much, cared too much, noticed what others missed. It wasn't a flaw, it was spiritual sensitivity. It was your gift showing early. It was the weight of a calling not yet named. And now it's time. No more shrinking to fit around people who are committed to staying shallow. No more pretending that you're fine with what your soul has outgrown. No more looking backward for what can only be found by going forward. You've been on the edge long enough. The angels have been patient. So has God. But time is folding now, and delay is becoming disobedience. Not out of punishment, but because the window is thin. There are things only you can activate, words only you can say, frequencies only you carry, and heaven cannot release certain breakthroughs until you say yes. It won't feel safe, but it will feel real. It won't feel easy, but it will feel aligned. That's how you'll know. If it requires your ego to die, but your soul to breathe, walk toward it. If it pulls you away from the crowd, but closer to clarity, walk toward it. If it breaks the cycle, even if it breaks your comfort, walk toward it. You don't have to know where it ends. You just have to know who started it. And if God started it, then He'll carry it. He'll fill the gaps. He'll send provision. He'll restore what you thought you lost in the fire. This is the beginning of your unshaking, of walking with no more masks, no more half-truths, no more pleasing people at the expense of your own spirit. And yes, it'll cost you. But staying where you are will cost you far more, because you know now. You've felt too much, seen too much, grown too much, and heaven doesn't give vision to those who intend to stay small. The angels are pleading because they can see what you're about to step into, and they can see what will happen if you keep waiting. This isn't fear. This is urgency. There are souls tied to your obedience. There are doors that won't open until you knock. There are promises that won't arrive until you release what's blocking them. This is the threshold moment. You've cried for this, prayed for this, and it's here. Don't expect a sign in the sky. You're the sign. Don't look for permission. You already have it. Don't try to go back. There's nothing back there for you anymore. Take this breath, this moment, this sacred stillness, and let it be your yes. Heaven will meet you at the pace of your courage. And when you take that first step, no matter how trembling it is, you'll feel it. You'll feel the silence break. You'll feel the weight lift. You'll feel the presence return. Because you're not just being called to change your life. You're being called to change atmospheres, to shift rooms with your presence, to carry light where darkness has lived too long, to awaken others by simply being who you were born to be. And that's why you couldn't quit. That's why the enemy tried so hard to distract you, discourage you, delay you. Because once you step into this, everything changes. No more running, no more dimming, no more excuses. It's your time now. The clock is ticking, not to scare you, but to stir you. And if this message has stirred anything in your spirit, don't ignore it. Sit with it, let it finish its work, and then rise. The world has no idea what's about to arrive through you, but heaven does, and heaven is ready.